Daytona. Everybody ready, set, go. Rev it up and let's roll. There's a party in the fast lane. Got my hands on the wheel and I'm flying. Heartbeat loud as the thunder rolls. Riding in on the stampede of lightning. I'm bringing back the sunshine. Bringing back the sunshine. Baby, it's about time. Oh, bring it back. Oh,
Hello everybody and welcome to LIMECAR Season 4 Race 14. We're north of the border for the first time in series history. We're in Bowmanville, Ontario at the famous Canadian Tire Motorsport Park for the NASCAR Racing Experience 300. I'm here in the booth alongside none other than Johnny Adelaide. Mr. Adelaide, how are you doing today on this fine afternoon?
Dude, I'm doing amazing. I had some poutine this morning out here in Ontario. It's a good time to be alive.
Absolutely. The Timmy's was flowing in the pit garage earlier today. Lots of donuts, lots of poutine. But today, hopefully these drivers don't get sick off of all that poutine they had as we are set to go racing. Last week, Reed Simpson takes home his first career victory on a fuel mileage win. That was an incredible race. But the other side of the coin, Tyler Cook was leading that group of drivers that was on the alternate strategy but ran out of gas under 5 laps to go. And another CRT driver, the former points leader, he had a rough day, got trapped 1 lap down after a vibration caused him to go down pit road, Jerry. And a very exciting, very strategy-filled race last week at Darlington led to this little shakeup in the point standings. Garrett Lamar now leads Marnell from second, but Santiago Nicholas, Aris Yuko, and Desquarius Greenhouse Jr., they're catching up and they're trying to close in.
Yeah, this is going to be a fun points battle to watch as, you know, we're racing on a road course today. So, you know, the CRT dominance that we used to talk about, that might be something to look out for. I think it's going to be a really, really interesting race and one that's going to kind of pave the way for the rest of the season here.
And we've got 5 races to go, Tommy, starting today. And the next 5 races we've got here, Kansas, Talladega, Nashville, and Homestead. So a lot of tracks for a lot of these drivers to try and get their hands on some wins and hands on their points. How about we go through our keys to the race here for our 26-lap feature event? Yeah,
first of all, my name's Johnny, but I know you're in here with Tommy a lot. Anyways, We got 26 laps out here. Basically 2.5 miles, 10-turn road course, and this is our first time, obviously, racing here at Canadian Motorsports Park. This is actually our first trip north of the border for LIMECAR. It's kind of a fast and flowing sprint race, and the fuel run lasts the whole race. So really expect drivers to go all out, especially near the end of the race. I think this is going to be an amazing race for us to watch. You know, road courses, some say they're boring, but they always bring something fun to the table for LIMECAR, in my opinion. So I think we got a lot to watch out for here.
Absolutely, and 26 laps, a lot can happen in those 26 laps. We'll go through our starting lineup. None other than Robbie Gordoff takes his 4th pole of the season, starting alongside Aris Yuko. Tyler Cook, Christopher Marnell make up ACRT Row 2. Henry Guo, Christian Visconti, your COTA winner, make up Row 3. Row 4, Logan Williams and Michael Guthrie. Row number 5 is going to move forward to see Desquarius Greenhouse Jr. and Strokey Banger. A lot of Fords up front here so far. Richard Fridge and Aaron Giffen make up Row 6. Row 7, Santiago Nicholas and Chase Gibbons. Row number 8 is going to have Ethan Harrison and Chris Lilly. Chris Lilly had a good run last week as well. Riley Gorse finished top 5 at Darlington. Kyle Beatty, another driver who has had success here today. Jerry Chen and Garrett Lamar make up row 10. Row 11, Ian McDaniel and Ryan Barone, your Sonoma winner from last season. Justin Haley, Jeremy Mead, Row 12. Haley won at Auto Club. Grayson Collins, Matthew Fastnot, who won at Coda in the Roval in Season 3. Quinton Haley, Alexander Rowe in Row 14. Rowe looking for a resurgence to end his season after a not-so-great run this year. Foss, and then in Row 16, or Row 15, Row 16, last week's winner, and Sean McKean. Chaz Gralla, Jordan Madron in Row number 17. Nathan Stapleton, Blake Walker make up Row 18. Row 19, Cam Arrow, Ricardo Garcia make up a Lamar Race Shops Row 19, with Stephen Cullen and Joe Kraus making up Row 20, and our caboose of the field, Carson Green and Zachary Fox.
See a car on the grass there. I don't quite know what's going on there, but I'm sure they'll sort that out before the start of the race.
Robbie Gordoff, your pole sitter, a familiar sight, will lead the field of 42 to the green flag. They're off and rolling here in Canada, north of the border, We're off and rolling for the NASCAR racing experience.
And Robbie Gordoff out to an early lead from Aris Yuko, who's kind of able to slide in second now.
Marnell slipping into third in front of Tyler Cook as we see a CRT 3-4. That's Henry Guo sitting there in fifth place. And Christian Visconti is going to battle with Logan Williams there for sixth.
Yeah, as they kind of file out single file up front, it's still too wide side by side through the back of the field. This is not the widest track in the world, so we'll see where these drivers settle out to be.
As they go through the Moss corner down towards the Mario and Trim straightaway into the Essie, Robbie Gordoff, on board with Christopher Marnell, sitting in third place. We're on lap 126, lap 300. It is Robbie Gordoff from Aris Yuko, Christopher Marnell, Tyler Cook for top four. That's the line lap 2 here, Johnny Adelaide. We already are seeing how fast and tricky this track can be. It's going to be really treacherous staying too wide for a long amount of time. You're going to have to really try and sort things out and get your passes done on these straightaways.
Yeah, for sure. And I think that's what these drivers, especially mid-pack, are trying to do right now, as you see more and more drivers kind of slotting into that single file line. But, you're going to try to make up the position, especially early in the race when you still have a chance, as you can see the 32 trying to go for a spot there. That's Kyle Maybe.
Working on Ian McDaniel, that's for 20th place, as we're hovering around the 13 of our current points leader, although as the current point stands, not for long, but the 13 entered today as your points leader, sitting in 22nd place as they go through Moss once again. Look at how slow that they have to go to get through 5A and 5B. Very technical part of the track, especially that long uphill, really having to drag the brake and just coast through that double right-hander.
Sure, and you can see if you do that series of corners well, like how maybe you just did, you can gain some positions right there. That's probably one of your best passing opportunities on track if you do it right. But again, with it being such a slow corner and such a fast track overall, it can also be dangerous. As you can see, for third place, Christopher Marnell about to lose that spot to his teammate.
Also through Moss, you mentioned if you get it right, it could be a great passing zone. If you get it wrong, if you miss your braking zone, you could go bowling into a number of drivers or competitors and really ruin not only your day, but theirs as well.
Yeah, for sure. So that's going to be an interesting corner to watch to see what people are trying to do, especially near the end of the race or in the middle of the race, see if people are trying to make up some space.
And also towards the end of the race, if we don't see pit stops throughout the field, as you mentioned, fuel run is expected to last the entire race. Those brakes are going to be hot, and those tires are going to be searching for grip as well. So if you're going bowling into 5A and 5B on lap 24 or lap 25, and you're in third place or fourth place just trying to send it, if your brakes are just a little bit too warm, your tires are a little bit too worn, you could go straight into the tire barrier that honestly doesn't have much forgiveness for these drivers. Really only a few car lengths of runoff that these guys get throughout the entire racetrack, not just in that corner.
Yeah, for sure. As maybe a little contact there for Alexander Rowe. Everybody gets to a fine this time.
That was with Cam Arrow for about 30th place.
Yeah, so battles all along the field, no matter how up front you are.
Battles all along the field, and also these guys kind of just jockeying for position as well. As you see the 27 of Richard Fridge succumb the position to Chase Gibbons. But it's still a long race to go. And you may not be sitting here saying, oh, there's definitely going to be a caution. We've seen caution-free races throughout our time in LIMECAR, especially at road courses. But we've also seen races at road courses and at ovals that you get one caution and then you just consistently keep going yellow, restart, yellow. So track position is key, especially in a race where driving horse getting past that is Aaron Giffen, both AGR cars and Grand colors. But track position is key no matter when or where you get.
Yeah, for sure. These drivers, I expect they're going to go for position jockeying all day. Stormwood or any different behind him is very strong. Ford, as a whole, especially at Social Motorsports, has kind of having a resurgence in the second half of the season. It's kind of quiet through the first half of the season, but Aris Ugo is still up front in second. And throughout the field, the Astolfo cars, don't count them out.
I think every Astolfo car currently is in the top 15. The Lone Ranger being Michael Guthrie, I believe. He is the one last of the Astolfo group. And even then, Michael Guthrie, no stranger to being very familiar at road courses. There's another group of Fords with Kyle Mabey, the solo Ford team driver. As you see the 51 right here. Historically good at road courses. He's won at COTA. He ran up front last season. Has not had the success at a road course that he has seen in seasons before. Looking for, hopefully, a good run here today. He's sitting inside the top 15. Jerry Chen, Chris Lilly, they're battling a little bit further back. So I'm mistaken. It looks like Jerry Chen is the driver of Astolfo, who is sitting lowest on the leaderboard. But again, all drivers within the top 15 here. Here on lap 6 of 26, battling with Chris Lilly. He'll give up that position around the outside and sneak behind him as Ethan Harrison is closing in slowly but surely on those guys. There's Braden Sigafus in the 78, the WeatherTech machine, racing in front of Kaz Gralla. Kaz Gralla, historically in his career, has raced LMP2s, LMP3s, TA2 cars, has gotten wins in the K&N Pro Series at road courses, VIR specifically, I believe. That 3 car should be a standout racer, but currently mired back in the back.
Yeah, that's the one thing with road courses. You know, you can get past 1 car or 2 cars at a time, but to try to move past a lot of cars, you know, even on a fast controlling track like this one, it's really hard to keep making passes. So if you started off deeper in the field, you know, to try to keep that momentum up lap by lap and pass every car in your way, that's very difficult.
And also, with this being a fast and flowing track, this is definitely a driver's sort of track if you're running up front, if you're top 5, top 10. But if you're sitting there back in the back, you really wish that there was just a hard, like a few more hard braking zones that you can just send the car into. Maybe a tight hairpin like a Sonoma, or a right-left-hander chicane like how we have at COTA. So definitely drivers will be searching for the opportunities few and far between throughout today. Robbie Gordoff has extended his lead. Looks like it's about 3 seconds over the 54 of Aris Yuko, that 33 on cruise control. Mr. Adelaide, we've seen time and time again, Robbie Gordoff, this season, it's been a tale of his year. Hasn't been able to seal the deal. He's been so close to, I'd say, about 5 wins this year. still sitting at 0 career wins, but a whole lot of top 5s and top 10s.
Yeah, I sure hope he can get it done today. But if he can't, Aris Yuko, he's sneakily looking to take the points lead away from the CRT cars. So Yuko is definitely hoping what's been happening to Robbie Gordoff this whole season continues to happen. He can take the win today and get into that points lead.
Absolutely, as we see a little bit of a battle between the 69 and the 46, a Phillies car up north in Toronto. Guys, oh, yellow, oh, big crash. That's damn Arrow. Hard driver's side impact in the S's through turn 9. The yellow's going to come out. The leader has passed the line. Jordan Madrid, I believe, was the nose that the 42 went off of. Will be yellow, will race back to the line. Robbie Gordoff has a healthy lead, so the rest of the field's going to scramble and try to gather up some positions before we bunch the field back up for our first restart of the day.
Yeah, that was a pretty hard impact. Looks like just 2 cars involved. I don't know. It's just a miscommunication. Once the field takes the lap, we'll get a look at the replay. But right now, these drivers are trying to get that so coveted track position before this restart, because these restarts of these road courses, that is the best way you can bunch the field up. You know, we talked about Robbie Gordoff having a 3-second lead. After this caution, it's going to be 0, and Aris Yuko's going to have a shot at him.
And right when we were just talking about Robbie Gordoff, time and time again, having a dominant car, and then things just not falling his way, and then a yellow comes out, we'll have to take a look and see what happens. But the 33, having led the first 9 laps, will take the field to the yellow. Oh, it looks like the 68 just slid up, and the 42 comes down. A little bit of a... I'd say Madron would be at fault there. Let's take another look at it.
I don't know if Alexander Rowe was slowing up more than Jordan Madron expected, or if he just misjudged that corner, but he just slid right into the 42. Not much to see there, but very, very unfortunate for the 42. Huge hard hit into the wall right on the driver's side. We hope he's doing okay.
He's going to be taken to the care center, exiting the race. There you see that big hill right over there by turn 9. That means it's a pretty blind spot for the spotters. So green flag is back out. We're back underway here on lap 11 of 26. That's a blind spot for these spotters. So maybe we could see some more incidents there. But I think the spotters not being able to see could have been something that led to that incident. Not being able to clear the 42 or the 68, thinking that he was clear.
Yeah, for sure. Robbie Gordoff took control of the lead here from the start. Aris Yuko couldn't quite get it done. In fact, he's got a car right up his bumper right now.
Absolutely. That's Tyler Cook right on the back bumper of the 54. I didn't get to touch on it earlier, but Christopher Marnell has slipped to 5th place. That's Henry Guo sitting there in 5th place, as we'll see the field kind of spread out. And the 33, look at that run out of the corner that he gets, just putting a gap on the field right out of Moss Corner. Man, the 33 is just on rails, it seems like. Down the back straightaway they go.
Yeah, Robbie Gordoff today, I mean, he led the most laps in Watkins Glen, led the most laps at Darlington. This is his 4th pole of the season. And oh man, huge accident. 37 Alexander Rowe, front and rear smashed up.
Second caution of the day comes out on the restart after it looked like an incident coming out of Moss Corner. The 37 appears to be the one with heavy damage. We'll have to see who else was involved, but Robbie Gordoff leading back to the yellow. We'll have to bunch the field up once again here in Bowmanville. Let's take a look at this replay. So that's the 99 and the 5. Haley gets turned into the wall. His brother sideswipes and bounces off the guardrail and right in front of the 37, who gets a front end impact, and then Carson Green with nowhere to go.
Yeah, we see a huge gaggle of cars coming out of Moss Corner, and just not a lot of real estate for anybody to go anywhere. So what started as really just a pretty small accident between two cars, as one of them is trying to rejoin the track, it triggers a chain reaction, you know, later down the field as we ride on board. You know, Jordan Madden here, his perspective. You can see the two cars in front getting off track, and they're just trying to rejoin the track, but man, they're just coming so fast. It's really hard to avoid, even for Jordan Madden as we actually get done. That's just an unfortunate incident, you know, at a tight road course like this.
Brother on brother violence, although, I mean, that's just one of those racing deals with the side swipe there. If you're Quentin, you really can't anticipate the 99. I mean, it's lap 11 on a restart. The last thing that you're expecting is to see your brother careen back up the track into you. And if you're Alexander Rowe, already mired back in the back, but he's going to have lengthy extended repairs on that 37 Little Hug machine. Just a disappointing season, I would say, for the 37. Hasn't been able to put the pieces together for the DAF Racing crew. But if you're team owner Dominic Anthony, a little bit of solace. Your other 3 entries all within the top 8.
Yeah, as we come back around for the green flag. Restart here. Robbie Gordoff still in the lead. Arizuko slow to start here. Gordoff
Cook gives him a bumper.
He's going to be side by side.
Cook gives him a bumper. He's going to lift coming through. He's going to succumb second. I think he might lose third place from Christopher Marnell, who has gotten around the 50s or the 47 of Henry Guo here on that restart. The 23 on the hunt. If you're Christopher Marnell, granted there's 12 laps to go, as we're going to look at this downhill to uphill part of Moss. These guys really having to carry their speed through the corner. But yeah, if you're Christopher Marnell, go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, I was just commenting. You know, even after that earlier incident, you see drivers are still, especially mid-pack and back, you know, side by side going through that corner. Even a glimpse of 3 wide there, actually coming out of that corner with Blake Walker. They're really going all out here. You know, we're over halfway through the race, 2 cautions in. These drivers are fighting for it.
And if you're Christopher Marnell in that 23 car, and I don't know if you're being told that your teammate and points leader is sitting further in the back of the pack, but you're trying to get all the points you can get. At this point in the year, you're points racing. You don't have to get wins. You just need to get good finishes, and especially with the points system. 60 points for a win, 50 points for a second, dramatic drop-off from there. Every position matters. The difference between first and second is huge. The difference between second and third also pretty big. That's basically 5 spots on track if you're anywhere outside the top 5. So Jared Lamar back to pack, taking around 20 or 19. That's going to pay big dividends for the 23 to try and get as many spots as you can, or really just stay up in that top 5.
Yeah, for sure.
It also doesn't help that Yuko, who's entered the race in, I think, 4th or 5th in points, he's sitting second place right now, so that's 50 points in the bank for Yuko if he can hold on to it.
Yeah, and Yuko's driver, Jerry Chen, he's battling with a 60 car going to the corner. They're side by side. I don't know if I'll get that spot. It looks like I'll clear him right here. Yeah, we're getting to that point of the season where, you know, these teams, these drivers, the points really, really start to matter now. You know, if you've had even a half-decent first, you know, bit of the season, right now, if you can stack those wins, stack those top 5s, you can still be in the hunt for a championship.
Absolutely. And we saw a few years ago, Ian McDaniel, granted it was early in the season that he was in this spot, but he came from 30th in season 2 to almost win the championship, was leading the points heading into the final race. We saw last year a lot of comebacks through the points, and not to mention where you are in owner points may dictate how many races you make next season, where you are in owner points the first 3 races of next year, in addition to the Daytona 500, could lock you in based on owner points. We saw this year, with owner points being the determining factor of why some drivers made the 500 and some drivers went home. Like the Lamar Race Shops cars had no owners points and they missed the show, couldn't finish in the top 15 in the duels. They went home. The 40 and 41 were watching from the grandstands. So every point matters, no matter how far back you are, because for a small team like, say, the 71 of Nathan Stapleton or the 32 of Kyle Mabey, these guys, these small teams, or even these big teams, really need to stack these days, especially towards the end of the season. And who knows, maybe you could make a run for the title, like Kyle Mabey, who started the season with a win at Atlanta. Hasn't had the success recently, but that 32 is still firmly in the points hunt, sitting around the top 15 to where he could make a run, barring a little bit of luck and a few more wins coming his way.
For sure, and at least it's this many laps after the restart. These drivers really haven't settled down. They're still side by side here in the, I would call, early mid-pack area. Jerry Chen's in their attack now.
A strokey banger in the 84.
Yeah. 3 cars under a blanket going into the last corner here. See who come out on top.
Through whites and now back into the first corner. 84. They're side by side here. So it looks like, you've got to be pretty ballsy. Jerry Chen really letting him hang here. He hung around the outside of whites, through turn 1 on the outside, and now he's getting through Clayton, coming into Quebec, and he kept his position using that outside. I guarantee those left side tires are screaming right now for that 53, showing all of what he's got.
Yeah, and I don't know if I'd be as brave as Jerry Chen here. If I was behind the wheel of that car, that we actually haven't seen a lot of drivers do that. When they're in the position like that, they got a driver down the inside. We've seen a lot of them just back out and let them take the spot. Paid off for Jerry Chen, but I don't know if that's going to be the winning strategy. And again, I don't know if I'm ballsy enough if I was behind the wheel of that car to do the same.
Well, I suppose, Mr. Adelaide, that's why we have you here in the booth, and we'll let you do your ballsy maneuvers back out on the rally course here soon. We'll have to go and rip something here in the next coming days.
Yeah,
we
for
see
sure.
we see the 60 of Riley Gorris lose a position to Santiago Nicolas. Go on board here with Kyle Mabey. We did see Mr. Adelaide, you and Jerry Chen at mid 400 earlier in the month. Hung out with Jimmy Johnson. How was that for you?
That was a fantastic experience. I didn't know Jerry too well going into the main 400, but he's a great dude to hang around, and also he's a huge Jimmy Johnson fan, so that was kind of good. Kind of fangirled the entire time, but that was an amazing race for us. Kind of an unfortunate start to the weekend when we picked this up, but we were able to recover pretty well. That was a really fun experience. Not the first time for me, but the first time for Jerry and the first time for Jimmy. So I kind of carry them on my back there, but that was a fun experience.
Pat yourself on the back there, but we'll give you the credit there. The 84 Legacy Motorsports or Legacy Motor Club machine did look good in that first truck. Down the back straightaway, down the Mario Andretti backstretch, as they call it. Riley Gorris sucking up with the draft, trying to get to the inside of Santiago Nicolas. These two have gone back and forth for the last lap and a half. I would say Gorris is going to retake that position. Riley Gorris ran up front yesterday, gambled on strategy, and finished top 5 at Darlington. He had a lot of choice words after every race he does, but a lot of happy choice words this week, or this past weekend in the 60 car with his throwback, the gold and white car. So close to a win, but it was Reed Simpson who took home the fuel mileage win. No fuel mileage here today, though. We're going to see the cars all go to the end as Logan Williams trying to hunt down that 14 of Chase Gibbons with Jerry Chen hot on his heels.
Yeah, we're kind of seeing some of these mid-pack drivers, as we approach the end of the race, really fighting for it now. Jerry Chen, one of those drivers, that kind of just decided to pick it up as he, ironically runs wide in that corner and kind of loses the ground, and now be under attack from Strokey Banger again. But yeah, a lot of these midfield drivers, now that we're only, 7 laps to go, they're really closing in on the top 10. Trying to get that spot, trying to get those points, as we were talking about earlier in the race.
Absolutely. Every point matters, especially in a race like this where road courses may not be some drivers' strength and specialty, whereas for some drivers they are. But a track like this seems to be a pretty good equalizer in terms of raw pace. We don't normally see the Square Greenhouse Jr. running up front at the road courses, but like we've said, haven't really seen much from him this season in a good way. That 52 has been sneaky quiet and sneaky consistent. He's got the 3rd best average finish amongst all full-time drivers. The 52 has been strong all season, just looking for a win or even really a top 5. Lots of top 10s for that 52. Just hasn't been able to finish in the podium or the upper echelon this season. Though I will say, yet, because those Fords, like you've mentioned earlier, have looked strong.
Yeah, Ford, Astova Motorsports, they're doing sneaky good today.
Absolutely. Well, I wouldn't say sneaky. We've talked about them a lot today.
That's true.
But, again, it is no small feat to have all the drivers in the field as caution comes out for what appears to be debris off of the 37 car. The front bumper of Alexander Rowe has fallen onto the track. So the caution comes out for the 3rd time here today.
There is a sort of charm when you see a car like the 37 right now with no hood and no tail just running on the track. It's beautiful in its own way. But you know who definitely doesn't think that right now? The 33 of Robbie Gordoff. He was leading by such a wide margin, lap 22 of 26, and now the caution comes out to erase his lead. Equalizing the field again gives Ares Yuko, who's been in 2nd place all day, another chance to get a Robbie Gordoff. And I hope we didn't curse this, but we were talking about Robbie Gordoff not being able to finish off these races. I hope he can today, but I just know he's fuming right now.
You know what this race reminds me of, Mr. Adelaide? Watkins Glen. 33 led almost the entire race, and then that last 2-lap dash, I mean, he just went wide. He missed the bus stop completely and succumbed his lead. As look at how large that lead is. The leaders are the 2nd place is on the backstretch, and he's already through whites and at the start-finish line. So the 33 has captured the yellow flag here on lap 23 of 26. And we'll see if anybody comes down pit road. I don't believe we will, Mr. Adelaide. So we're going to have what will be a 2-lap dash to the finish. Not a green-white checkered. If a yellow does happen in the next lap, then we will have a green-white checkered finish. This will be a standard restart single file.
Yeah, and Robbie Gordoff, I mean, I think it's clear that he's had the best car all day. In fact, his car is so good, we really haven't talked about him that much because he's been out front by a wide margin. So he just has to not make a mistake. As they come to the green flag here, or hopefully the last time, Robbie Gordoff fires off well. Ares Yuko, once again, off the start, wasn't able to keep up with Gordoff.
3 wide from what looks like, oh, that's 5th place. That's a 23.47. The 52 wisely backs out of it. We were 3 wide for a hot minute through turn 1 as we corner now through Clayton, heading into Quebec now. These drivers giving it all. 2 laps to go here in Bowmanville. The 47 of Henry Guo. It looks like he's under fire from Disquarius Greenhouse Jr. The 47 did not have a good restart whatsoever. And I mean, the 54 trying to claw back his way to the back bumper of the 33, but Robbie Gordoff trying to erase history, do what has not been done before. As the 68 of Madrid picks up 3 or 4 spots just sending it in through Moss. That's the 47 of Guo. He's getting doored and bumpered by the 52 and 27. He's lost 3 positions already on this restart. I would say he's probably the one who is most upset about this yellow coming out, as the 47 is down to 6th place.
Yeah, that's kind of a disastrous restart for Henry Guo there. But throughout the field, all the other drivers are kind of maintaining their position so far. Robbie Gordoff obviously still in the lead. He's trying to not think about the fact that he's in the lead right now. Coming over to radio, just trying to stay focused as the white flag comes out. One more lap to go, see if he can hold it.
He's got to be perfect through this lap. Aris Yuko is breathing down his neck. The 14 of Chase Gibbons loses the position there as on board with Chris Marnell. The 33 hasn't pulled out as much of a gap as we normally see him pull out, but I mean, look at that acceleration of the he is just gone going under the Continental Tire Bridge. We have Goodyear tires at Canadian Tire Motorsports Park with a Continental Bridge, a Michelin Bridge, and a Bridgestone Bridge. So that's not to matter. The 43 and 23. Marnell looking to steal 3rd place away from Tyler Cook. Can he get that 3rd place position? Tyler Cook is going to fight hard for it. The 23 needs those points. He's going to slip out of it. Robbie Gordoff from St. Louis, Missouri. So close for so many races. Well, here he does. He's going to get it done here tonight. Robbie Gordoff wins at Canadian Tire Motorsport Park.
Finally, all season we've seen him put together these runs, but finally he was able to finish it today. So happy for that 33 team. Just a dominant victory, both the car and the driver. Absolutely, if you see him and Aris Yuko coming out of one of these corners, the gap that he's able to pull, just absolutely perfect execution from both the team and the driver today. As he sits in his car for a little bit of reflection before starting his burnout, but here he goes, celebrating, rightfully so, his first win of his career.
To go along with all the pole flags that he's been collecting, he finally gets that first career win, that first career trophy for the 33 car, as we'll take a look at our official results. Gordoff from Yuko, Cook, Marnell, Greenhouse, your top 5. Fridge, Guo, Guthrie, Visconti, Logan Williams round out your top 10. Chase Gibbons, Jerry Chen, Riley Gorse, Shoki Banger, they were all battling for that 11th to 15th place spot all day here today. As we'll see the field and the field order cycle on through. Aris Yuko with that 2nd place. But Robbie Gordoff with, I would imagine, we'll have to get the statisticians on this one, the first Grand Slam victory in LIMECAR history. All laps led. Well, let's start from here. Won the pole, led all the laps, won the race, and fastest lap of the race from 33. Just a phenomenal drive and a phenomenal day. It's something that Chris Marnell finishing 4th, even he has to be happy and excited about to see his young standout driver getting the victory here in his sophomore season.
Yeah, and even those who aren't CRT fans, they have to be happy for Robbie Gordoff here as he blows out his tires.
As we'll see the current standings, that dotted line around the top 6, that is the hypothetical bubble of points right there. So Henry Guo just outside of it. That's the 60-point bubble that you should probably be in to be a championship contender, as obviously only 60 points can be awarded each race. But Marnell, Lamar, Gordoff, CRT 1, 2, 3, Yuko in 4th, Grace Greenhouse Jr. in 5th. And then we see that dotted line once again. That is the danger zone. You want to get above that dotted line if you want to stay in the hunt for this title. So, I mean, Mr. Adelaide, that time of year, the dotted lines and the red lines coming out. And then the red line, all those drivers underneath have been officially eliminated from championship contention, but their points battle still rages on. Like we mentioned, the owners' points battle is still something that these drivers need to keep an eye on.
Yeah, for sure. And today, this race with all of these drivers trying to be in the mix the whole race, battling for those positions, I think this is what we can expect to see the rest of the season.
Absolutely. And as we'll see, a little highlights clip package of today's race here. We had a great race, I would have to say. Even we had battles all throughout the field. We saw history in the making with Robbie Gordoff in the 33, taking home his first career victory in a Grand Slam fashion with the pole, most laps led, all laps led, fastest lap and win. Any key takeaways, any key thoughts here? I mean, this was our first time at Mosport, and I had a blast up north of the border.
Yeah, I think this is a phenomenal race. I think I'm excited if LIMECAR ever decides to come back here. I think this is a great, probably one of my favorite road course races that we've seen in recent history. And just, really, really happy for that 33 team. Robbie Gordoff finally getting it done here. Cannot be said enough.
We see a change back in the points lead with Marnell leading with Garrett Lamar in second and then Gordoff sitting in third. I mean, that's just CRT dominance there, but that points gap has shrunk. I mean, Marnell and Lamar were leading the points by almost a race margin to start the season, and now that points margin to a driver that's not a CRT driver is now only 18 points. So the CRT, I wouldn't say downfall, but their recent mid-season slump has kind of brought the field closer back to them, and a Henry Guo, a Michael Guthrie, who is outside that little points bubble, they could try and steal a win or two. But if you're Mr. Adelaide, if you're Eris Yuko, Disgrace, Santiago Mendes, or even Robbie Gordoff, what's your mindset heading into these final four races?
My mindset is fuck them all. I'm going to try to win every race from here on out. I'm going to race like I am in the championship hunt.
Which, I mean, these guys are. And if you're Marnell, if you're Lamar, honestly, I'd be sweating bullets, especially if we see an end of season run like last year. I know we mentioned a little bit, but Henry Guo finished second in points last year with a win at Talladega and a win at Homestead to end the season. 2 of the last 3 races ended with a win, and the 47, I believe, finished top 5 in the second to last race. So we've seen Henry Guo be able to do it, rocket himself up in points with those wins. There is no lagging, no stepping back from these drivers. You've got to be all out to the end. No mistakes whatsoever.
Yeah, and every single driver you just mentioned, we saw them up front today in some form or another.
Absolutely. I think the only driver in this championship hunt we did not see up front today was Garrett Lamar, who finished just inside the top 20 there in 19th place. But that 13 car, I mean, they really haven't been clicking on all gears either there. They had a solid run at Darlington. They were fast early. They qualified up front, but they had to work their way back up due to strategy. And even so, there's been some questionable strategy calls coming from the 13 cars as of recent. So could be something to look for. Could be a little bit of team favoritism going back to the team owner. But, I mean, lots of storylines as we head into next week, which will be Kansas. A phenomenal race. What do you think our storylines are heading into the next race at Kansas?
Oh, it's what you just talked about, at near the end of the season. So many drivers are close. So many drivers are catching up, especially when the top performing team, the team that is 1, 2, 3 in points, are looking like they're about to slip off. People are going to try to capitalize on that. Every single mistake is going to be scrutinized. Every single mistake is going to be taken advantage of.
Absolutely. We see the clip of the 33 burning it down one more time. That'll be our sign-off package. Mr. Adelaide, thank you for joining me today in the booth. It was a pleasure, as always.
No problem at all. Glad to be here.
From all of us here in the booth, we thank you and say so long and see you guys next week. From Canada to the plains, we'll see you guys in Kansas.